Now what you see here is a vintage advertising thermometer from a Ford tractor dealer that we dealt with probably 50 years ago. And I guess you call it the glass tube had broken. So I went to Amazon and I bought one. It was 4 inches because the original was 4 inches. Now you notice I had to slide it way up because what I did was I took my digital thermometer and I matched the two. But the next day, if you look, it is at least 8 degrees off and the scale is wrong. So what you have to do is find another thermometer, a vintage one, and take it apart and use that tube. Now what I've got right here is the exact same thermometer, State Savings Bank, but that one, if you look at it, it's about 68. That's 68. So what I got to do is I got to take that tube out of there, take that tube out of there, put it over there, get it calibrated, and it might work. Well, it should work. So that's today's restoration project. How to restore a vintage thermometer. You have to have another one because you can't use a modern tube, apparently. The scale is just wrong. So to start the process, we've got to get this off. I've got one of the original wires there. I couldn't put the other wire there because I had the thing slid up so high. So I got to get that out. There we go. So this one, I don't know what it's supposed to fit, but it's just not going to work. So we got to take this one now and get that tube out. They're generally put together with these wires, so you got to bend the wires, and you should be able to push it through and get that out. There you go. It could stand a bit of a cleaning. I will probably get some alcohol and give that a bath, and then we can proceed. So I got this cleaned up. If you notice, this is much larger in diameter because they're using some other kind of liquid, but with the scale being wrong, simply can't use it. So we're done with that. We've got to put this in. Now, taking it apart, I got two tails right there. I only got one here because it broke, but it'll still work. Gotta figure out how to get this thing together. And not break it. What I had to do was scour eBay until I found an advertising thermometer that had the exact well, what would you call it? The exact look. And that one broke off. They're so brittle. Interesting. Well, we may have to do something like a drop of super glue or something to hold it in place once we get it calibrated. Yeah, once we get it calibrated. So what I did, that wire retainer. I got it off of this one. And I got the little pieces right there that it's just so brittle. What I have to do now is wait for the two to synchronize at the same temperature, because I was holding on to the bulb, so of course it got a lot hotter than it should have. So that says 69, that says 80. So I will just leave that for about an hour and try to get it synchronized, and then I will slide it up or down until it matches that, and then it will be restored. And we'll try to take a little bit better care of it than we did the first time, because it wasn't a cheap repair, because I had to buy that one. It's been an hour, 68, and here we're reading approximately 72. So I've got to drop that tube down, try to anyway. Whoa, it just fell. Guess I didn't have that tight enough. Okay, we'll fix that. So what I did, I tightened that upper strap just a little bit. I can't do the lower one because one of the legs is broke. But 68.7, and if you come in, that's looking to be about 69. Little bit off center. You got to be just a touch off. It's very difficult to rotate that tube. So a little tweaking with a pair of pliers on the ball down at the bottom, so it's easier to read. So now it's ready to hang back up on the wall where it's been for the last 50 years.